Good evening and welcome to the Holy Trinity Lutheran Church check-in here on Wednesday, May 20th.
Great to be together. And as we check in, I want to invite you all to write in the comments a word or two about how you're doing. How are you feeling? How is your day today? We really care about you and we know the community cares. So chime in today.
Because as we check in on what's happening at the church, we check in on ways we can help. We're also checking in on each other. And a simple act of logging in, showing you're here, writing your name in the comments and how you're doing does make a difference because we're more than just a production of church services. We are a community of faith and we care about each other.
And speaking of caring about each other, I want to say thank you to Pastor Diane, our visitation pastor, who gave us a good message this past week and taught us and reminded us to remember, reconnect, or remember those in our community who aren't typically able to be in worship with us.
So as we remember them this past week, we also this week remember in particular some of our young people. And so this next Sunday, we're going to have a service in honor of the graduates. Those graduating coming up. And for all of our young people, we know it takes a village, it takes a whole community to help them become who they are today. And so before we dive into this upcoming service, we're going to talk a little bit about how grateful we are for those who've helped make our youth ministry, children's ministry possible.
Yeah, as we conclude a year of great faith formation, thank you to our Sunday school and crew time leaders, but also for everyone who's been in front and behind the scenes to make this year possible. We've had great faith formation for all ages, and just want to say thank you. It doesn't go unnoticed, your consistency, your reliability, and your inspiration to care for each of the kids and model that they matter.
So this year, we can't invite you to the front of the church where all the Sunday school teachers, crew time leaders, confirmation leaders, high school ministry leaders would be recognized. We still want to today say thank you. So let's give them all a round of applause. Woo, 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 woo. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This upcoming Sunday, we get to be a part of a really wonderful worship service where our senior students in this last week of their finals and classes and papers and last week of high school, they're also preparing for the senior-led worship service. So we're excited today to bring with you our preacher for this upcoming Sunday service. It's Janae Beecher. So let's welcome Janae to our check-in tonight. Good to see you, Janae.
Yep, good to see you, Pastor Ben.
Last week, are you doing okay?
I mean, like in relation to like the water and like floating or sinking, I would say I'm bobbing.
That's good. I like that. Yeah, that's good. And well, this church cares about you, and this church and Alicia and I care about you. And we're so grateful that even in the midst of the bobs that you are preaching for this weekend. So how do you feel about the idea of preaching in front of the church?
I mean, it's daunting, like especially with everything going on. It's like trying to live up to what I really believe I want to perceive and stuff. It's a big challenge, but I'm gonna try.
Yeah, you're gonna do great, and you have support from this church that's unconditional. So we're honored that you're willing to do it. So if you have friends that you'd want to invite to the service, please do. And for anybody tuning in, checking in now, it's going to be a special service, so spread the word. It's going to be a different kind of Memorial Day, and so I imagine that your 9 a.m. on Sunday is going to be open in ways that it might not have been in other years. But so tune in to hear Janae. She's going to do great. Tune in to hear her classmates and her friends each do their part. This is going to be a special senior worship service. And I'm going to put you on the spot here, Janae. If you were to say you have a prayer request at this time for you, for your classmates, or whatever comes to mind, what's a prayer request that's on your heart?
I'd just say like keep hope, keep hope in our hearts, and just help us keep hearing the good news and knowing that it will get better.
I love it. I love it. Keep open our hearts. Boom. Alicia and I will pray, and we will have that as our prayer, and we'll keep it as a prayer as a church for you and as for each of us. So thank you, Janae. Thanks for your leadership. We look forward to Sunday.
Yep.
Thanks for checking in. All right, we'll see you later.
Yep. Bye-bye.
So today is May 20th. Tomorrow is May 21st. And tomorrow's a big day because it's the CD release party for our very own Tim Price. He has been working his tail off, helping to prepare our services, and you might recognize some of the songs that he's premiering on his own acoustic fingerstyle guitar CD that is available now, and we want to invite him in to tell us more about it. So come on in, Tim.
What's up, Pastor?
Well, I'm excited to talk to you. It's a big week, but before we dive into the CD, I'm going to put you on the spot. So we've been 2 months of not being together in church, and it's been a completely new rhythm for us as a worship team. So what's it been like for you?
It's funny is that this whole 5 or 6 weeks of quarantine has been unbelievably busy for me. And church is no exception, Ben. I mean, it's
Yep.
we kind of started going down a whole new road, all of us, everybody. I'm so impressed with the ability that everybody on the church staff and on the music team were able to adapt and keep the services going and keep everything moving. And I don't think we really had too much technical issues, and I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about recording. Here we've done a lot of stuff here. We've done Lexi, Rose, and Rita, and Toby, and they're all recording at their places, and then all these great singers who are, what's been really cool about it, now we know who can sing.
I know. One of them is Alice.
And I know where most of you live.
I know.
A couple here in my own neighborhood.
So one of the blessings that's coming out of this is the CD from Timothy Price. So you were close to being done, and then this hit, and then all of a sudden you had to switch gears completely with church and everything, but you were still able to manage the release of the CD. So tell us what the CD is and what's on the CD.
And I just happen to have one right here. So here it is. That's it.
Only by the grace of God.
And ain't that the truth, brother?
Very true.
That.
So what are the songs?
The songs on it are I'll Fly Away. Oops. Excuse me.
Hey.
I'll Fly Away, Above All, What a Friend We Have in Jesus, Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing, In the Garden, Amazing Grace, He is Exalted, Blessed Assurance, and Just a Closer Walk with Thee. And they're all instrumental. They're all guitarists, guitar instrumental songs. It's played in the style that I love. If you're not familiar with it, it's called fingerstyle guitar. Every song is played where you play the melody and the rhythm and the chords all at the same time. And it's something I love. It's my passion for playing guitar. And as it's titled, Only by the Grace of God, that's my life. Ultimately, it's all of us to some extent, but Ben, I shouldn't be here by all rights. I should have been taken out of the picture 26 years ago. And if anybody's heard my story, they probably agree.
And Tim, I think this is your niche, man. I think this is worship music, fingerstyle. Like, I really think this is gold. And I think I don't know. It's been a huge blessing for me to hear pieces of this, and I'm excited. So the launch is tomorrow.
Yeah, and yeah, we're when I say we,
Yeah.
I have a producer who's in Tennessee,
Okay.
who helps me with many of my projects. But I've got to give a lot of credit, of course, to God, all credit. But Alice, woo,
Yeah.
Alice, wow. That's another thing. It's like talking about people coming out of the woodwork
Yeah.
to sing. Yeah, listen to her sing.
No kidding.
She is 10 times the musician I'll ever be.
She's good. You're good too.
I sit down here. I sit down here and I work on stuff. Blinky, 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 and I'll hear from upstairs. That's not right. And she's always right. He was a co-producer on this. Anyway, so tomorrow, tomorrow. That's right, because it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday right now. We're doing an official CD release party. Now, the CD is available right now. I'm going to go ahead and, all right, guys, don't hate me, but it is available here.
Oh, back that sign up. Move it back so we see the whole thing. Okay, back, timsguitar.net. All right, and faithrecoverymusic.com. Perfect.
Yep. So it's available at both of those websites. It'll be the first thing you see, my ugly mug.
Love it.
Or you can just go to eBay and just type in Timothy Price, only by the grace of God. So
perfect.
All of the CDs that are sold this week, half of all sales are going to go to the ministry, Faith, Recovery, and Music. I can't wait when this thing is over. We're taking it to the streets. We're going to be bringing it to treatment facilities, churches, coffee houses, prisons, anywhere where they'll let us come in and talk about the wonders and how great it is to be in recovery and the power of the Lord, and just, oh my gosh, how we can just have a great life,
That's right.
In recovery.
Tim, I love it, and I thank God for the gift that you're giving this world to the CD. So I look forward to tuning into the release party tomorrow. What time?
7 p.m. Central.
7 p.m. All right.
On our Facebook page, Timothy Price. It'll be on Timothy Price, musician, author. It'll be on the Faith, Recovery, and Music page. You'll find it. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere. I'm gonna wear you out with it.
Thanks, Tim.
Bye, everybody. See you in a few weeks.
All right, perfect. All right, we'll see ya. All right, folks. So we want to support Tim. He's done a great job. So like he said in our conversation, visit that website to get more information. We'll post a comment here on how else you can support that. But you're going to want to have the CD in your CD player if you have one, because it's just addicting to listen to. I'll tell you firsthand. I love this stuff. So thank you, Tim, for this music gift to the world.
Yeah, pretty relaxing music during this season of life. Speaking of making a difference and how Tim is making a difference, there's a way many of you are making a difference right now, and that's through the Little Free Food Pantry. So just want to thank you for all of your donations to the food pantry to keep it stocked. Thank you also for using it and making use of it when you need. So give and take as you need.
So thanks to everybody who's contributed to the Little Free Food Pantry with a serving and caring heart in mind. We are prepared for vacation. Well, we are preparing for Vacation Bible School, which is going to be great.
Can't wait. We are opening up registration tonight. Tonight. You can register tonight, and we want you to get registered.
Why?
Because we want to prepare. No, because it's going to be a great experience, and we don't want you to miss out, and we want to be in good communication. And this year, we are offering it for free.
So wait a second. It's free?
It's free. We want you to sign up tonight.
So anybody can sign up.
Anybody can sign up, member or not. You don't need to be a member, become a member. Jump on in. We just want faith formation to happen this summer.
You don't even have to be a member of Holy Trinity.
No, invite your friends. Do it together. It's more fun that way.
And is everybody coming to church?
Nope, we're all online. It's going to be premiered at 9 a.m. on July 6th through 9th, at 9 in the morning. But you can also watch it anytime.
Okay, so I got a question. What if I've got a cousin in Iowa?
Sure, your cousin in Iowa can jump in, although they probably won't get a t-shirt.
Okay. Wait a second. T-shirts? You get a T-shirt?
Thanks to ID Threads, we are hoping to get everyone a t-shirt.
Wow. Okay, so I know we can't meet in person, but that's always one of my favorite pieces, is getting a T-shirt. We still get T-shirts?
We're hoping that we will still be united with a common t-shirt. So pending COVID concerns, we will still have a t-shirt for everyone involved.
Well, we did think as a congregation, we recognize that churches are canceling Vacation Bible School, and it is different. We can't be in person, can't do all the fun and games in person, but it's not like the need for summer activities for kids and the need for faith formation activities suddenly disappears. We want to make this happen, and we do want to open our doors. So we do want to offer this to the community.
Yeah, invite friends, invite family. Anyone is welcome. It's going to be online again, as I said, at 9 a.m., July 6th through 10th. So Monday through Friday this year. Because of the nature online, we're going to have daily challenges where you can submit things. We're going to have some surprises that you'll be in for you don't want to miss. So sign up.
Now, what about the theme? How are we doing that? What's our theme?
So we have shifted what we were planning on, and our theme is going to be at home with Jesus. We're looking at 5 stories of Jesus being in people's homes in the Bible.
Okay. All right, great. And we also recognize that just as the church exists for more than just providing fun programming, we exist to make a difference in the world. And we hope to do that through Vacation Bible School as well. So we've got a project that we are excited to tell you about. As we have our theme of at home with Jesus, we recognize that there's people who don't have a home, that they would love to attend this Bible school, but to think about having Jesus in their home just doesn't fit because their home changes. And I think in particular about the families who are part of the Families Moving Forward program through Hope House. Their home changes each week as they go from church to church. And for people experiencing homelessness, we want to do something about that. So you know Hope House, but just as Beacon does this transitional work where they provide temporary housing for families experiencing homelessness, they also do work where they create sustainable housing so that families can have a home that they can reside in, live in, a safe roof over their head, and Beacon can provide services, wraparound services to support them in getting their feet back on the ground again. And so Beacon's actually doing a project for the first time in Scott and Carver counties. And so we want to be a part of that as part of this year's Vacation Bible School. And so how are we going to be a part of that?
Well, one apartment, one home for a family costs $15,000 beyond the provided resources that they already have. So we want to challenge our community to pay for one of those homes. Our endowment at the church has committed $5,000. Our mission outreach team has committed $5,000. So we have $5,000 now that we want to challenge the kids of Holy Trinity to see if we can together provide a home. So part of Vacation Bible School is going to be looking around, finding any coins you can, and we're hoping to fill the milk can for Noisy Offering to the brim and provide this home for a family in need.
So that's our goal for Vacation Bible School, and that's what we hope to do. And we're going to actually now talk with a friend by the name of Justin who works on the Beacon Interfaith Housing Collaborative staff, who doesn't know that we intend to do this, but we're going to ask him a little bit about Beacon's work, but we're also going to tell him our news and our hope that we can be a key partner in making this 46-unit housing complex in Shakopee called Prairie Point happen.
Yeah.
So let's bring Justin on.
What I'm really excited about what we're developing at Beacon, and since I've started, I've noticed a few things. Is one, that we've really got to get clear as an organization about what is the story that we're actually trying to tell.
Mm-hmm.
What's the narrative, and how do we actually take our efforts and tell a broader story of homelessness in Scott and Carver County.
Mm-hmm.
For me, Prairie Point is a symbol of that. It would be a historic development, the first of its kind in Scott County, where family supportive housing is on site. Families who are making 38% of their income going towards housing, or folks who have experienced homelessness, being able to have on-site childcare, job placement training, all of the resources they need to be successful. There's nothing like it in Scott County. And so Prairie Point is a conversation to the success of families moving forward, and to places like Hope House, that we have such a strong knit community because there is a need. But we know that Hope House families moving forward, it's just not enough.
Right.
It's simply not gonna to address the crisis that we are facing, and with another 250,000 Minnesotans on the verge of losing their homes once the eviction moratorium is lifted by the governor, the existing crisis is going to be exacerbated. And so Prairie Point is a conversation about, we need to build homes, but also we need to invest in keeping people in their homes.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, Bring It Home Minnesota and some of our policy work is about creating a landscape in Scott and Carver County where we're talking constantly about housing. The reason why I'm excited about Prairie Point is because we can talk about sheltering families today, building homes for tomorrow, and changing systems and institutions that center families and center keeping people in their homes, like Bring It Home Minnesota. And so what we can all do when it comes to making the biggest impact, even if you can't host, Prairie Point would give about 50 families housing. And we have a hearing on June 2nd on whether or not the city of Shakopee is going to allow us to have that land use. We have another conversation with Scott County and whether or not we're going to be able to get the funding for that project. And so over the course of this summer into next fall, Beacon is going to be lifting up this conversation of what is family supportive housing. And not just what is family supportive housing, but what are our values as people of faith, and how do we make those values very public and public facing. At our rally for Home from Home, we talked about what does it mean for us to show up for others. And I would love to have a county-wide conversation about getting people to think of a moment when someone showed up for them, mm-hmm. and how impactful that was. Ben, when was there a time that someone showed up for you when you really needed them? And how did that make you feel? Mm-hmm. Like, was there a time in your life that somebody showed up for you and kind of caught you off guard?
Totally. Yeah, I go straight there. I go straight there. I was, just real quick, I was pastor in my home church, and the youth pastor that lived there for my whole upbringing, that was my youth pastor that I replaced, he died. And I had to be the pastor to the whole community grieving the loss of our collective pastor. And it was super heavy, but I had a friend come and he told me, just so you know, I'm here for you today. And I'll never forget that. I just sat in the back and teared up in the pew with that. Rather than saying, yeah, we're here to care for everybody else, I said, no, I'm here for you because I know you're caring for everybody else. So yeah, being there for someone, showing up for somebody, yeah, it brings me right there.
And that's exactly it. That's what, we got leadership teams in Waconia, down in Jordan, up in Shakopee. We're really going to be talking about and getting people to reflect on, what was it like when someone showed up for you? How transformational was that? Mm-hmm. Can you imagine how it's going to feel for 50 families when we as leaders of faith show up for them, and 50 mm-hmm. people and 50 families, I should say, now have homes? Mm-hmm. Can you imagine if we keep showing up as people of faith over the next year, 2-3 years, to make Bring It Home Minnesota a reality, where mm-hmm. 500,000 Minnesotans now qualify for rental assistance?
Right.
And like that's the kind of conversation that we're really trying to grow and spread through Prairie Point, is to not only change hearts and minds, but in this moment right now, housing is more important than ever. We are doing this conversation live from our own homes, and scores of our neighbors don't have that luxury, and more will actually lose their homes if people like us don't step up to lead on that conversation. So we want to continue and celebrate families moving forward, and Hope House and other initiatives that are sheltering the needs of families today. But I believe that our faith calls us to look towards the future in a way that through collaboration, through discipleship, and through this urgency, we can still find joy and community by putting this together. The folks on the ground up in Shakopee, when we had our 6-0 victory last Thursday, I think people are hungry for something that gives them hope. And to me, Prairie Point has become a beacon of hope for the communities in Scott and Carver County to rally behind. Not just a place for people to live, but an idea, a value of Scott and Carver County communities, that we value people's lives, and we value what home symbolizes, especially as people of faith. And so as we look towards June 2nd for the land use hearing at the Shakopee City Hall, and as we look towards the future of Prairie Point, inside of that is also the broader conversation about ending homelessness in Minnesota. And to me, that's a big chunk. It's a big vision, but by God, it's about time that we drew a line in the sand somewhere and said that we're going to continue to lift up what we value, and everyone should have a home.
And that's the vision of Beacon, that everyone has a home. And I love it. And it's simple and it's memorable and it's clear. So I was in the meeting with our bishop, Svenningson, and Lee Blons a week or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more listening in. But what I heard from that meeting, tell me if I'm wrong, but if you broke it down, the 46 units, on top of the county funding, on top of the state funding or the separate funding, they're still looking for funding that amounts to approximately 15 grand for each of the 46 units. Is that right?
Yeah, so there's this what's called gap funding. And so even on top of the funding that is available through us through the county, state, and federal dollars, Beacon is also responsible for, and I'm going to give you a ballpark, I believe it's about $350,000 or about $15,000 per unit.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about organizing in congregations, we show up with our public will to move legislators like county commissioners, city council members, state legislators. But one of the other ways that we show up is with our pocketbooks.
Yeah.
There's a congregation in Shakopee that just gave us $5,000 to help create one of those apartments. It's what they could do in these times. But that family supportive housing unit in Prairie Point also requires us as Beacon and as a collaborative to raise those funds through the private sector or from our efforts as well.
So I'll pass on, since that meeting, what we're hoping to do here, Justin. It's our goal that Holy Trinity covers one of those apartments. So our endowment's already committed $5,000. Our council last night approved another $5,000. And then we're hoping through our online BBS this year, our Vacation Bible School with the theme of At Home with Jesus, that will raise that third $5,000, so that we can say, here's our commitment. We're trying to do our part. So we're 2/3 there. This is our goal for our Vacation Bible School. But just so you know, we're in this with you, and we care and we want to do our part.
Thank you, and thank you to your congregation. I think the other gift of families moving forward is that we actually get to meet the people who would be able to call that place a permanent home.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this little girl last week. She's probably 4 or 5 years old, and I got to play with her, just little bag of toys that I talked about. And like, I think of her like every day in the work that we're doing at Beacon, and the amazing leadership of people of faith across the Scott and Carver counties, and contributions like this, but also showing up in person and showing up with our pocketbooks is how we can really make these homes a reality. And on top of that amazing contribution, if y'all on June 2nd can show up virtually, or if you can show up in person at the Shakopee City Hall, we'll be sending out more information on how you can do that. But June 2nd is going to be the big hurdle on the municipal level for Prairie Point. And if we can get the Shakopee City Council to see that it's not just scores of people in Shakopee, but also hundreds of folks across the counties who believe in this vision and believe that when we invest in people, we're making an investment into our future. It's going to be an exciting day, and so I'll make sure to send out that information. But it takes showing up in a lot of different ways, and we just talked about when showing up, it impacts our lives, and it's very meaningful. And so for those families who call Prairie Point a home, I'm very excited to talk to them about how churches like Holy Trinity are stepping up and really leading for them and with them. So thank you for that.
Yep. Well, we know that it's a small part. $15,000 seems like a lot, but it's a small part, but it makes a big difference. And for, like you say, for that family. And I feel like, I think I heard that there's 26 congregations in Scott and Carver County Beacon churches. I'd love to see a ripple effect. I mean, I'd love to see each church take on an apartment. If we could each do our part, I think that'd be it's the least we could do. Like you said, I mean, these are the families that we get to know and love that come through families moving forward to our places, our churches, but we want to give them an actual home with the services around them that they can get their feet under their ground again. So I don't know, Justin, we're proud to be a Beacon Church, and we want to do our part, but I appreciate your encouragement to say, okay, but you could do more. You can step up, you can speak out, you can show up. And that's that next level of learning that we want to go to.
And I'm so excited to be able to actually come down to New Prague and be with all of you again as soon as that is open to us. But the conversation is in New Prague, it's in Shakopee, it's in Chaska and Chanhassen, and Prairie Point is just one step in this conversation. And whether it's housing initiatives that continue in New Prague, or whether it's a renter's bill of rights in Shakopee, Beacon's going to be there, and we want to continue to advance this narrative and this story that everyone has a home. And that looks a lot of different ways, but I'm here as a resource to develop leadership, to empower people to take their faith into the public arena. And I use the word transformational discipleship for a reason, because I started off as a kid who didn't know what the heck he was doing. And by taking a risk and by stepping into my faith and stepping into the public arena, it changed my life, and it changed my life for the better. And I believe in us.
Yeah.
I believe in what we're doing here at Beacon because of people like yourself and your congregation. So I'm here as a resource, and I'm here to make sure that we can continue to lead across Scott and Carver counties together.
Awesome, Justin. Well, we're coming to the end of our time. I just want to say thank you for touching base today. Beacon's lucky to have you. You're doing good work, and but we're partners in this. And as Holy Trinity, we get Hope House. We get that arrangement, but it's important for us as people of faith to know that it doesn't end there, that we want to continue our partnership for these families into that next level. So thank you for your guidance. Thank you for your direction. And we look forward to the continued conversation.
Awesome, Ben. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Justin. We'll be in touch, man.
Awesome. Talk to you soon.
Yep. Okay. Bye. So thank you, Justin. Thank you for your good work, for your leadership. We're honored to be a part of the Beacon Collaborative, and we're also honored to be a part of a church that cares about making a real difference in the world and helping real people find a real home in our own neighborhood. This is what Christ calls us to do.
He says, whatever you've done to the least of these, you've done unto me. So as we focus on being at home with Jesus and Jesus coming into our homes, we also think about how our providing a home for someone else is also providing a home for Jesus.
Amen. So thanks for tuning in to our check-in this week, this May 20th check-in, this upcoming weekend. Don't miss worship. It's going to be great. Janae, as well as a whole bunch of other seniors, are going to provide just a powerful worship service. A week from now, we're going to have another check-in, and then next Sunday is Pentecost. And Pentecost is this story in the book of Acts where the Holy Spirit took a grave situation and took a situation where people didn't know how to go forward and blew her spirit in and guided the leaders in new ways, in new directions that they were surprised about, but made a huge difference for the kingdom of God. And so we're going to talk about how that story applies to our situation in this particular time. So I look forward to that Pentecost service with you. But in the meantime, Miriam wants us to know that all eyes are on the cross. and we continue to care, we continue to pray, and we're here for you, so don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah. So go in peace. Know that Christ is with you.
Thanks be to God. Amen.
Amen. Let's go see what Joey's doing.